Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy you're with us for our final show of season 6. Moments away, we are going to discuss some of the things that we do outside of the garden. But first, inside of the garden, Tree Diaper is the device that you need to keep your plants healthy, happy, and hydrated, whether they're in containers, raised beds, or inside.
Tree Diaper is a revolutionary watering system that slowly releases water around the base of any tree or plant as the soil dries. The Tree Diaper is filled with water from rain or when you water and slowly releases water over 3 weeks' time. No overwatering or underwatering with the Tree Diaper. Every time it rains, Tree Diaper recharges. No pipes, hoses, or electricity needed. Water your plants and trees while they're down by the house, down the road, or in the back 40. Also works under mulch. Whether you're a first-time gardener or advanced, Tree Diaper will improve the way you water your plants. Made in the USA, check out all the sizes they have available at treediaper.com. That's treediaper.com.
Treediaper.com, a tool that everybody needs for their garden. Well, Holly, we've got time here to kind of chit-chat with those of you that are diligent and listening, and we appreciate that. We're going to go over some of the things that we do outside of the garden. We don't spend 24/7 in the garden. Sometimes with regards to the radio show, we kind of spend 24/7 sometimes making that happen during the off season, so we can come back next year. But
there's some things that we do together
and by ourselves. Yes.
Yep. So one thing we do together is camp.
Yes.
We tent camp.
Yeah, we don't. We
or some people call it car camping.
But we physically have a large tent that we set up and either go to state parks and or hip camps. And a hip camp is a what? What is so funny?
Nothing. It's funny to me because I taught you about hip camp.
Yes.
And you love it.
Well, it's a very it's slightly more than a state camp, but the isolation and the privacy outweighs the cost. And if you want to find out more about hip camp or state park camping and all that, we do have a secondary YouTube channel. You just go to YouTube and search Time by the Tent, and we've got about 18 videos up there documenting some of our camping tips and our journeys in regards to camping. And we watch, and here's the thing, that we watch a lot of campers. We watch a lot of gardening stuff on the YouTube, and we watch a lot of camping people on the YouTube. And there's a certain camper, will remain nameless, but every single video, he doesn't have what he needs.
No, he's always forgetting something.
He literally drives 2 or 3 hours in some instances to go camp, and he doesn't have paper towels, or he forgot the food, or he forgot this, or he doesn't have that. When we go camping, and we literally take 10 things more than we possibly could ever need. So we have everything to enjoy the overnight or the 2 nights and 2 days that we spend at these places.
Right. And
we're hoping that does change. The plan is that we are looking to purchase recreational land.
Even if we bought land, we would still have to bring things.
Oh, yeah.
And we would
there'd be less things because some things could be staying at the property.
Right. So camping.
Which now you camped as a child.
I grew up tent camping.
Yeah. Apparently it was horrible.
It wasn't horrible. There was just times that it was not as fun as other times.
I grew up on a farm and had a building which converted into a cabin. I stayed there, and me and the guys, we would go out and hunt. So it was a little different.
That is different.
But still outdoors.
I love state parks. Joey makes fun of me because I'll say, I love state parks. But I do love state parks. But Joey and I camped at the beginning of October in a hip camp. And we were, and it was a walk-in site. And we didn't see anybody. Well, we happened to see kind of one person.
They were walking by the creek, there's a giant trail around the property, but we'd heard them, but that was about it.
Right, for almost 3 days. And it was just perfect. It was perfect. And growing up state park camping, when you're a kid, you don't realize that you can be very close to other campers. You don't realize it when you're a kid because you don't think about that stuff. But when you're an adult, all of a sudden, you look over and just past the brush, you can see
2 parking spots over. There's another family there, and with a screaming kid or a loud radio, and that's enjoyable all night long.
Right. So, and yes, the camps do have quiet hours, whatnot, doesn't mean people abide
Nope,
by them.
nope,
But
that doesn't mean a thing.
so yes, you do pay a little bit more for hipcamp, but for me, somebody who enjoys nature, speaking of enjoying nature, I like to hike.
Mm-hmm.
I go to different locations, some old, I'll find some new. I do this once or twice a month.
Are these on public land? Is this
State parks, county
these
parks,
are on state parks,
etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you do have to have a parking. You have to have a permit to get on these lands, right?
The state parks, yeah. County parks typically not, and then land trusts you don't either. But yeah, something I enjoy quite a bit, and it's something that I typically will do by myself. I think I've drug you maybe on like 2 hikes, and that was one was at a nature preserve. So yeah, that's one thing I enjoy.
Now you use hiking sticks.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this. I use hiking poles.
And
I had one pair of hiking poles they were not the best. They kept
collapsing
basically,
rescinding on themselves because they're telescopic.
But to be fair, they were like 5 years old and they were very, very cheap when I bought them. So I recently upgraded to some better ones, and I'm very pleased with that. And
what is the benefit to hiking poles?
So for me, it helps give me balance.
Does it take certain amount of, when you look at the science, does it take a certain amount of tension or weight off your knees because you're kind of putting weight on them as you're walking?
I mean, it could.
Okay.
I don't use them continuously, but I do use them when I'm going up and down inclines, declines, etc. And then when I've hiked in the snow, used them.
Which you're wanting to do snowshoeing.
I'm wanting to do snowshoeing. That brings me to my other, it's not really a hobby, it's more of a lifestyle. As I go to the gym, and now I am training myself for snowshoeing, just increasing my leg strength and balance a little bit and things like that.
If you've snowshoed and you think it's a horrible thing, email us, gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Let us know your experience.
Yeah, let me know before I invest in some snowshoes.
Right, or what ones to get.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've done research on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when you are, I'm not a tiny, I'm short, but I'm thick.
Right.
And you want larger snowshoes to offset the weight.
The distribution of the, things that we do together, we collect radios. We finally found the one radio we'd been looking for about a year. It was the RCA Victor 19K, K19. I forget the movement of that.
I know, but it's gorgeous.
It's a 1940s. We had to go down 3.5 hours south of the studio to get it, which we were in transit to go to a different destination. So it wasn't, we had planned it. We'd watched it on Marketplace for a month because it didn't make sense to do a 4-hour round trip for this one radio. And we have a Crosby, we have an RCA Victor, we have a Crosberg Carlson, we've got some Zenus and some other radios that we have collected. We're out of room, but we finally got that one. We were wanting that RCA Victor K19, 19K. I can't remember it's either 19K or K19. Beautiful radio.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It has some nice mid-century modern details to it.
It's got the racetrack dial, horse track dial is what they call it. And then we also collect canning jars. Not like, we go to a yard sale, let's get the 50 here. We're looking for very unique, different Odyssey type of canning jars. The big decoratorial 4-gallon, 2-gallon, 1-gallon. We've got one full set of those. Those came out in the 90s. We're still looking for a couple to complete another set. Blue jars, wire rack, different things that we do. And then, like we talked about earlier, we will watch YouTube, camping, gardening, obviously gardening, but camping as well.
So what's one of your hobbies?
When time allows, we'll watch NASCAR. You do that a little bit yourself, too. If anybody's followed NASCAR this year with the new Gen 6 car, they've got some issues that they've got to work out before they start really damaging these drivers beyond what they're already doing now. So I've kind of paid attention to that, but that's not a priority. Obviously, with the radio show and trying to make a little time for yourself, if you get time to watch it, that's great. If not, you look at the highlights. And there's other things to do on a nice fall afternoon when it's 75 degrees and sit inside for 3 hours and watch a race, because those days are very limited now. You may be already in some place where it's already snowing and you don't have any more 75-degree days. So,
absolutely. And then,
you're a cat mom. We've talked about this. We've referenced Tex. That is a cat, not our child.
Tex is our cat.
Yeah, tuxedo cat.
He's a tuxedo cat, and he's fun. He's a fun cat.
He's a happy nut.
He's a happy nut. He's sassy. And
He's the
sweet.
Barney Fife of cats.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Barney Fife was a wiry guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tex is very wiry.
He is very wiry.
Likes things with feathers.
He loves toys with feathers.
If we had a pet chicken, that chicken wouldn't have feathers in 2 hours after we had the chicken.
Anything with feathers, he's all about that life. And somebody told me that feathers can be bad for cats, but that's only if your cat swallows them.
If they just lick them and play with them, they're okay. But they start consuming them.
I don't think I've ever seen Tex eat a feather. I usually, if one gets loose, I try to pick it up and get away from it as fast as possible. But yeah, he loves people food.
You're not supposed to do that.
Not that we give him people food all the time, but every once in a while, a little bit of chicken or something, and we give him that. But he's very curious about all the things. And apparently when I leave and Joey's here, he climbs all over Joey. So I don't know.
But now with cats or dogs, if you are or thinking about bringing one into your family, there are certain things that a cat could eat that a dog can't, and a dog can eat that a cat can't eat. And if they do consume them, it can kill them. That is just the reality of it. You've got to be very careful what crumbs may fall on the floor, if they lick them up, that type of thing. You got to be careful about what species, what animal or pet you're bringing in for that particular reason.
And plants. Luckily, Tex doesn't eat plants, but
he's a cardboard chewer.
He likes that's pretty normal too. It's like a natural
stress relief,
something like that. Yeah. So we have our cat Tex, and
he does not go camping with us.
No, he does not.
I think we don't know if he could or not. I think he would. I don't know.
Right. And then we have, normal things we do, like watching some TV, and especially during winter. And, sometimes we go shopping for camping stuff together.
Yeah. So. And doing our normal stuff. I do the radio show preparation and sponsor gathering and all that goes on. We'll talk about a little bit more of that in the fourth segment. Do that full time, and Holly does a full-time job from in-home, so that saves a commute there. So that's a little bit about what we do outside of the gardening. So another thing, Holly, is winter is very close and fall is here. And there is still a little time left to get your yard prepared because those Japanese beetles will be back next year if you don't do something now.
Yeah, just because it's fall, we don't want to forget about our yards and those Japanese beetles either. They may be gone, but they're not far. Not only did they feast on your roses and berries this summer, they laid eggs in your turf, so they can start again next year. You can take a stand with Phylum's Grub Gone. Grub Gone is a non-chemical Bt granular that specifically targets scarab pests and their larvae. Simply apply the granule with a spreader, irrigate it into the soil, and let the naturally occurring bacteria do its job.
Not only is Grub Gone easy to use, but it's the only non-chemical choice that effectively controls grubs. And the best part about it, it's non-toxic to pollinators, beneficial insects like butterflies, bees, and other pollinational insects. Grub Gone has no label restriction around flowers, and you can use it without worrying that any insects will pick it up and take it back and damage their colony. Grub Gone, get it at BeetleGone.com. Go to BeetleGone.com, use coupon code GardenTalk10 to save 10% on your order for your Grub Gone.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.